Hey, how's it going? You people, you guys listening to this, whatever your names are, you plain people. Oh, that's pretty good because the podcast is called Plains People, so it works. What's up, you plain people? Now the podcast is about you. I get it. All right. Anyways, that was horrible. So this is episode 17 of the Plains People podcast. I believe I'm gonna put this out to you Monday, October 22nd. And I'm talking to Matt Gatzke. If you grew up in this area, you might know who he is. I know who he is. It's a cool guy. Matt Gatzke runs or is one of the owners and one of the proprietors of the shop called This Skate and Snow. So I'm sure you've seen stickers that just say this. That's what it's referring to. This Skate and Snow. It's a skateboard shop and a snowboard shop. So, this conversation went pretty good. Had him in the basement, and, went great. We talked about skateboarding, a lot of it. Talked about some video game stuff, which is good. It's 2 podcasts in a row I got to talk about video games. And, talked about opening his shop and things like that, and stickers. So it's a pretty good one. I know I didn't really sell it, but this is one of the ones where me and the guests both kind of have an affinity for tangents, which if you've listened to more than one of these, you know I have an affinity for tangents. And he does too, so I thought it was a pretty good one. We both kind of go off topic in great ways. And I always like going off topic on this show because that's why, we have an hour and a half to talk about it. So we can go off topic. All right, there you go. So Matt Gatzke had him down in the basement. So this is Plains People Podcast. Check it out. All right, I just told the guests to fuck off, and now we're starting. So Matt Gatzke. Yes. I love that last name. I just want to say I like the Z. There's a Z in it.
I don't.
Why? Just because it's like I have Gaviglio. I have a long Italian name, and I'm not Italian. Like my ancestors were, but I'm not like a greaseball Guido or anything. So I feel like that name sucks.
I remember answering the phone for like telemarketers stuff when I was a kid, and they'd always ask for like Gatzke, and it's always some sort of weird way that they always put it. But a lot of people can't pronounce it, or they look at it or they like can't even say it sometimes. And I have to say it's like Gat and Ski.
It's not that hard. Yeah. What I like about having a hard to spell and hard to pronounce last name is if you get a bill and your name's wrong, I can just justify like, oh, I don't know who that guy is. I'm not going to pay it. But like if the bill's for like instead of Gaviglio, the last O is a P, it's like Gaviglip. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know who Gaviglip is. I'm not going to pay it. That's not me. I'm Gaviglio. Fraudulent. Yeah, that's fraudulent. Yeah. Or Gaviglio? Yeah, I don't know Gaviglio. So, gone. So, gas guy? No, don't know gas guy.
I think on one of my previous jobs, I never had my name right on my checks.
So cashing them was kind of a bitch.
I never had a problem, but I always thought I was going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was going to have a problem, like applying for insurance, like proving my checks and my check stubs and all that too. Never did.
Well, that's good. All right. This is a riveting conversation.
Yeah, the government's so tight that they're so chill with that.
The government's never been known for like bureaucratic, stuff.
Yeah, they're just so
they're usually very chill and very easygoing. It's just they don't really care about the fine print.
It's the greatest.
Love our country. Okay, enough of that bullshit aside. So you grew up around in Fargo Moorhead area?
Yeah. I'm originally from crappy Valley City. And
is that right next to normal Valley City?
Yeah, well, and then I moved to crappy Fargo,
which is also just West Fargo. That's also crappy.
No, it's coming up. It used to be. It used to be pretty crappy. It's better now.
Well, just Fargo in general. I used to hate this place, and that's why I moved when I got out of school. And now when I'm back, it's changed a lot. There's liquor stores have good beer now, so that's like craft beer is finally a thing here. There's like 3 sushi places.
Yeah,
I feel like we're doing it. I feel like
coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we I think we were in Fargo until I was 5.
Okay.
And all I really remember about, I mean, we were in Valley City until I was 5.
Crappy Valley City.
Crappy Valley City until I was 5, and then all I really remember about it was there was like a lake thing in our backyard, and we lived on some sort of angled thing, and
some slant.
And Pomida didn't have Nintendo.
That sucks. Pomida didn't have Nintendo?
Pomida they had Chia Pets, but not Nintendo.
Wow. I'm surprised there was still a Pomida. I remember Pomida growing up too, and I remember when they were closing, we stopped, and it was right after Jurassic Park 2 came out.
Yeah.
And they had like Jurassic Park action figures for like 80% off, and we're buying them. And then I was like, oh, it's closing like for the night, and they're having like this crazy sale. I didn't realize they were like closing. And then like 2 days later, we drove by the Pomida. It was in like Brainerd, and then they were like, oh yeah, the place is closed. I was like, oh, that's why everything was cheap. I thought they were just super cheap at the end of the night. Why don't we always go there?
Happy hour.
Yeah. Why don't we always go to
Jurassic Park figures? The sides would come off. You remember that?
Yeah, and you could see the guts.
Yeah, and
inside
you could see the guts and the rib cage, and they had the little.
It was what do they call it? Danger wound or like wounded.
Yeah. And they had the JP stamp on there.
Yep.
That was
authenticity.
Official.
Yeah. Well, there's probably a lot of
copy that
crappy JP wannabe action figures at the time because they were so big. Yeah. I remember my brother thought he was lying to me. We were buying this is again for Lost World. We're buying a Ninja Turtle, a Tyrannosaurus, and he had like a really big thick neck. And he goes, see, that one can eat other action figures, and you can pull it out of his stomach, and that's why the neck's so big. And I was like, that's awesome! And then we bought it, and he was right. He was just like making it up on top of his head, but it turns out there was a little opening at the bottom where you could shove like human action figures into them and pull them out the bottom. Coolest, I'm gonna send it to throw again. Coolest Tyrannosaurus ever. He was awesome. He was, I guess, was the male of the 2 that ripped apart the guy in Lost World.
Toys were so incredible.
What do you mean were?
I guess are.
Can you look around? I literally have a lot of toys in here.
This tank.
Yeah, that tank is awesome. I got a Joker over there. Like a Hulk, some random Star Wars flying creature.
We were in, like 2 years ago, we took a trip to Japan, and that was Akihabara. That was like some choice toys out there. It's just blocks of toy shops.
Wow. Like very niche.
Yeah, you'd never, I mean, like 90% of the stuff, you just like, it depends how into it you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, a good like 80s, 90% of stuff, I was just like, I have no idea.
God, I'm trying to remember. I wish I could cite this, but I think it was either a Facebook post or somebody was just telling me a story. That's how tired I am right now. But somebody said they were just walking in like a small alley in like Japan, like Tokyo or something, and no one was there, and he was completely by himself, and he randomly saw this door, and he opened it up, and it was exclusively an Alice in Wonderland toy shop.
Oh,
and it was packed in there. He's like, how the... What? like, there was no one in this tiny, like, daggone alley I was in. And then...
The alley stuff, like, the secret stuff is...
Yeah.
That's the crazy
Gonna go hit up the secret Alice in Wonderland toy shop.
We had to, I don't know, how into video games you are.
On Bethesda games. I mean, I play Skyrim every day, but I play one video game, so that's...
In the Super Nintendo era, there was that game Earthbound that came out.
Love Earthbound.
So Earthbound came out, and there's in Japan it was called Mother.
That's not weird.
Mother 2 specifically, because it was the second game in the series. But,
yeah.
we were searching all over the place for this, just like crappy internet directions. But I guess there was a video game shop like specifically themed like off of the mother. I think it was called I think the name translated to friendship or something like that, and it was like painted red, like the or the I don't know, entryway was painted red like the video game box was.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they had we got it like right in the last 10 minutes that we were going there, but yeah, I had to find it because that was my.
So it was like exclusively a nothing but Earthbound store.
Not really, but the person loved Earthbound so much that they kind of made.
So they had like Ness's baseball bats.
Yeah, they had some weird themed stuff, and
you could buy the hat.
Somebody on the internet said that they would all they played was like the Earthbound soundtracks or something in there.
Jeez.
There was no music playing when we went in there.
Well, that's a ripoff.
I got.
I would have been pissed.
Man, I got the Japanese version of Mega Man X3 for like, I think it was like $15.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
America.
If you played enough of it, you don't need it to be. Oh, that's your phone. There you go. Yeah, so I was saying, if you played enough of the like American, you don't even need the language to be right.
Exactly.
You know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
matter.
I know I could play a Japanese Pokemon game easy.
Yeah.
It's everything was yes or no questions. You always have to answer yes, and then all the Pokemon look the same, so you'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, you played enough that it just becomes muscle memory for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can play it sleeping.
I played so many Pokemon games that if a newer one does anything different, I'm pissed. Yeah. That's how it's like, wait, there's no gyms in this one? Rip off! Like, that's how much I played them.
I tried playing when was the first Pokemon on the DS?
That would have been Gen 4. Would have been Platinum, Emerald, and Sapphire.
Yeah.
No, not Emerald. Platinum, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Yeah, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. That's actually my favorite gen. So,
really?
And you didn't like it?
Well, I don't know. I didn't. I tried playing one of them. I remember.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, cool, like a new Pokemon, like.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I don't know. I had red and blue.
Yeah.
I had red and blue, and I specifically got 2 Game Boys because all my friends like didn't have.
Yeah, so you were trading with yourself.
I played 2 different games at the same time and traded with myself to get them catch them all.
My brother specifically, I had a Game Boy. I think somebody stole one from an airport and gave it to me. So I had like a Game Boy Gold and a Game Boy Color Pokemon Gold, and I didn't have anyone to trade with, and then we got like $100 or whatever for Christmas that year, and then me and my brother pooled together to buy him a Game Boy and him to get Crystal, just so I had somebody to trade with. And my mom's like, "You're buying him stuff?" I'm like, "Screw that, man! I'm buying me Pokemon." He's just growing them.
Parents just don't understand.
Yeah, you don't understand the intricacies of the Johto life. That was some Gen 2 stuff.
But yeah, I played it and just like. I don't know. I was just like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, I had I got the R4 card.
Oh, okay.
For the DS, so I could just pirate everything.
Yeah.
It's great. Beautiful. Loved it.
Took all the game out of the game. That's exactly what you want.
No. I mean, because I just didn't want to financially like buy anything anymore, and that was kind of, you're playing it on the same hardware, so
well, that was also 2009, so that was probably, I know I was broke as shit because I was in college when that came out, and I think somebody bought me. No, I bought a DS. It was like a drug deal. I bought a DS from somebody who didn't want his DS anymore because a new game was coming out, and we literally met like in an alley behind his house, and it was in like a paper bag, and it was in the rain, it was here. Yeah. And I remember thinking like cops are gonna jump out thinking I'm buying a package from them. Like, people are gonna think this is a re-up for like a corner.
I bought a PSP the same way.
Yeah. Like, he's looking around and you're like, dude, PSP wasn't code, right? I'm actually
we had to go. It was kind of sketchy. I had to go in like the back corner of like what is it, Carpet World, like by Happy Harry's.
Yeah.
Like, and the dude met me like over back there, and
jeez,
because that's where he was parked, and I don't know why it was like so off to the. I don't know. It's weird, man. But whatever. PSP.
Did you make sure it was like, okay, all right, cool, thanks.
Pristine PSP. You had like with Castlevania that came with
like
that.
A bloody handprint on it. You're like, oh shit, what happened? All right, where are we at? We got
getting off track.
Yeah, well, we're supposed. We got an hour and a half to talk about whatever 30-something years. It's not that hard. Trust me. So you moved to Fargo around 5-ish, right?
Yeah.
And did you grow up exclusively South Side?
Yeah, and about 13th Avenue. Around,
yeah, which used to be like far south, and now people who just moved here think that's North Fargo.
Yeah,
because it stretches all the way down now.
Like on the intersection of like 13th and 10th, where 10th becomes the one way.
Becomes 10th.
And I just my entire life got to see like people
bike by there every day.
Yeah, I got to always see people like think the 2-way is the 1-way, and like I would see people like do that, and then I'd like wait on my front steps and just wait and be like hoping that there was going to be a car like turning right into him. Like, come on, come on, and never happened.
Yeah, that sucks.
Never happened. It's also a 2-lane turn.
It's a 2-way turn. That intersection's crazy.
Yeah, and they widened. It used to be like, how do you put it? It used to be a regular turn, like it used to be just a regular turn, but so many people were getting cut off by the inside person.
Yeah, they would go to the outside lane.
They widened the street in that side just because people were ending up on the curb or in the grass.
Yeah, jeez. What, like, that intersection's great if you're going from 13th and turning on to 10th. That intersection's made for that one turn. If you're going down, like, going north on 10th, that light's never gonna fucking turn green for you. Like, that light only cares about that huge surplus of people.
I remember doing driving class. My whatever, it was a school thing, whatever. I don't remember. The driver, the teacher would come and pick me up in his car, and then I'd drive that car.
Yeah.
Pull out of my driveway, go down to north onto 10th, and sit at the stoplight, and it doesn't turn green.
Not at all.
And we're sitting there. We're just sitting there.
You have like
sitting there.
30-minute driving class. That intersection.
my first time, like, he's trying to teach me, like the basics and all this stuff, and first thing right out of the box, just you got to blow this light.
Well, that's the basics.
Star. Man, I don't know.
Like, never do this, but do it now.
I had to blow the light. So.
It's fucking funny. He's joking, by the way, cops who want to arrest somebody for blowing a light 15 years later.
It wasn't my car, so.
And he was instructed. Yeah, it's
I was
not your fault.
instructed,
Yeah, you were the learner. I'm pretty sure that if you have like a learner's permit and you fuck up, like the whatever, the guy sitting in the passenger seat gets at least half the blame.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it should be that way. Like, he told me that 45 means 75.
I think even in his car he had the safety brake on the passenger side too, even
where he could slam on the brake for you. Yeah.
I think I caught a glimpse of that.
I would love that just in general. Well, like, I think every car should have one of those. Except if I was driving and my wife was in the passenger seat, she'd probably constantly be like, "Slow down."
My mom. If I'm driving and my mom is anywhere in the vehicle,
she's freaking out.
She's just freaking out, and I'm not doing anything weird, and it's just.
It's actually opposite for me. I get car sick rather easy, probably because I don't like being in cars. I drive everywhere. Maybe that's just what I'm assuming. I don't know what it is, but I get car sick very easy, and if I'm in the back seat, it's really bad. So my mom is a 2-foot driver, and it's hell because she just constantly just taps the brake always, and it looks like if you're driving by us, you think that we're headbanging all the time, but it's because we're just getting whiplash every 5 seconds, because every second she's like accelerating like crazy and slamming on the brakes, and that's how she goes everywhere. So I made a vow to myself, like whatever, 6 years ago, like right when I got my license, I was like, okay, no matter what, no matter if I don't have a car and I have to bike across town, she's never giving me a ride anywhere ever again. And I stood true to it. Me and my wife went on vacation with her last year, right before we got married, and we went to like North Shore, and then we got in the car, and then I was like, oh shit, who's driving? And my mom's like, I got it, and I was like, no! And yeah, it was pretty rough. Interstate wasn't that bad, but as soon as we got into town, it was just horrible. But anyways, my mom never listens to these, so fuck her. Talk all the shit I want. All right. So we know where you. Yeah. So now that we got your address down, growing up, now we should get your social security number next. All right. So that's actually a pretty decent neighborhood. Is you're not super far south. You're right. You're whatever biking or even walking distance to downtown. You're not too far, and then you got Island Park right there. It's not a bad spot. No.
Well, I mean, that's right. I live with my girlfriend now, but
yeah. I mean, when you were growing up, it wasn't a bad spot too.
Well, I didn't even know what downtown was until I was like, I don't know.
Until you could enjoy it.
Well, I don't drink or anything, so like I don't know. I was going to shows. Yeah. I mean, the shows were where the downtown was, so
where billiards, billiards was, which is now aquarium.
Yeah. So
or Dempsey's.
Yeah. No, billiards is Blackbird.
Oh.
Because it was.
Yeah, you're right.
Pita Pit before, and
Yeah.
Yeah, we like I had a band in maybe like
I probably went and saw them
2005 or 6.
Yeah, when I was like 7th through 10th grade, we went almost every weekend to
that was
really horrible hardcore shows.
Yeah, that was the best. Going to those, like I miss those venues in the VFW basement and everything.
Yeah, VFW basement, and then pretty much the old Red Raven took over for billiards. It almost seemed simultaneous when billiards shut down. They started doing shows at the old Red Raven.
That's kind of why they like. Red Raven was moving.
Yeah,
or getting, I don't know. No, they were moving. But then they started that the New Direction.
Yep, and then Red Raven. Yeah, that venue turned into. Then I can never say New Direction without hearing New Direction.
Yeah,
was that supposed to be? I never knew. I never got to talk to those guys about it. I know them, but I've never just been like, "Hey, man, was that on purpose?" Because
I'm pretty sure
if it's on purpose, it's an amazing name. If it's not on purpose, y'all fucked up. Because I'm only gonna think Naked Boner.
There's an old skateboard company called New Deal, and there was a thing with a nude eel.
Yeah, New Deal.
For some reason.
New Deal is also what FDR promised the people when he got elected the first time. It was the New Deal.
Yeah, the New Deal.
And the New Deal. And he just during a fireside chat, he would just get an eel and just molest it. That was his whole thing. I promised you guys this. Sorry. That was a horrible joke. That was both history and bestiality. What's that for jokes? I woke up, watched an hour of a football game, and now I'm here. So if I'm acting like that, that's why. I only got one cup of coffee in too. Somebody gave me shit about drinking my coffee black, so now I'm a little pissed off.
Well, it's a black coffee mug, so it's all right.
It's supposed to be that way.
I just got done working out, so I'm like shaking.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's just
I haven't worked out in a long time, and I eat like shit, so I'm also shaking, but completely different reasons.
Working out is terrible.
Yeah, I know, it's just rough on you.
I hate it. I hate every minute of it.
You don't get into the mind space. Like I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan. That's the closest I get. No. Yeah, where he talks about you gotta like get something you're angry about or like really passionate about and like work out to. I'm gonna find that guy, push my books over in 5th grade, and kick his ass.
That like, kind of happens. I mean, I watch the animes, and yeah, I remember like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like you know JoJo.
Went over my head.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Anyways, the evil dude in the series, like as they were growing up as kids or whatever, this dude's just like just an asshole. Like he kills JoJo's dog and stuff. And
jeez,
a bunch of stuff. But like, man, like thinking about how much Dio is just a dick. Like it makes me just want to work out so I can fight. Dicks.
So you think about the bad guy from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Help you work out.
And like I don't know, playing games like Final Fight.
Oh,
like when I was a kid, like Final Fight, and, like,
I love
Double
Final
Dragon.
Fight. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to do as a job.
Like I remember when the first Final Fight came out. I thought like video games will never get better than this. This is what a perfect video game is. You got like Hagar's walking around hitting people, and then
get the pipe.
Yeah, just destroys a car. The same. It's like pretty much the same animation of the original Street Fighters, but it's like a scroller. It's a beat 'em up. Oh man, and yeah, no, I think if I was working out, I would try to role play myself as Hagar, trying to get my daughter back from the evil ninja / mobster mayor. Which I love that game.
Hagar was the mayor.
Oh yeah, Hagar was the mayor. Yeah, you're right. Okay,
it was the gang. Like basically, the gangsters were taking over the city, and he basically just
said, "Fuck it, imperialism."
Just takes off his shirt and says that I have to do this.
And he had one suspender going across his body.
Lost the other one. So
yep. So he strapped it over, and made it work. Yeah, that's kind of, now that we put it, it's kind of messed up. Of like a mayor. Like, no, I'm going to enforce my law with a crowbar.
Yeah. You got to take matters into your own hands. It's basically...
I don't know if you played the Marvel vs. Capcom series, but in the third one, you knew exactly where I was going. Yeah. Hagar was in the third one, Haggard, right? Haggard? Isn't it a D at the end?
Hagar. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. So no D at the end?
Haggard is like...
Yeah, like I'm Haggard.
A dying cat that's like the fur is all matted, man.
Or it's a movie written and directed by Bam Margera that Ryan Dunn was in. Yeah, what's up, yo? I can hang.
Duct tape shit to a garage door.
Yeah, Brandon DiCamalo, whatever that. Yeah, I loved the CKY series growing up. I was never good at skateboarding or biking, but I was good at running full speed into walls. Yeah. So I could still relate to them. Where my friends were into doing that kind of like into skating and biking. So we watched half of the CKY for them, and we watched the other half of the CKY because we like to destroy shit.
But the disclaimers said that you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, sure. We didn't know how to read because we kept running face first into walls at top speeds. But anyways, back to the intricacies of Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
If you win with Hagar in your main team or whatever as your like leader, his storyline is he becomes president, and he changes it to mayor, and he's a mayor of Earth. And if you win with Captain America, he's like your vice president, which makes me super happy because I would totally vote for that party. I would. Is there a cat watching us? Oh, you look that way.
I got the lazy eye thing going.
Oh, all right. Oh, well, my bad. Oh shit, that was very insensitive. What? Something going on over there? Or is your eye just lazy?
No, it happens. It happens. In the customer service aspect, you look up and you're just like, is that going to be everything? And then they're just like, what?
You want me to buy this? What are you looking over there for?
What are you talking to me? And I was like, man.
I have a lazy eye lid, so half my body looks like I'm high, and the other half. I got the what's his name? Forrest Whitaker, like starter kit. I'm gonna look like him eventually. Except
I don't know who Forrest Whitaker.
He's an actor with a lazy eyelid. Don't worry about it. He only won Oscars. Fuck, Jesus. All right.
I don't know anything.
So when did you get into? At least you said that you skate. I've seen you skate. When did you get into skating? You're fucking off. You said you weren't good at it.
Well,
like I could never even ollie, so you're better than me.
I feel like out of all the things that I like, skateboarding is the thing that I'm most good at.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm not very good.
Yeah.
By like any.
At least you're good at something.
Exactly. I've always kind of taken pride that, I got skateboarding. Like I can do this. I've trained. Like I should have just done. I mean, I could have wasted time doing something else and being better at something else. But I mean, whatever.
I mean, think about
we'll do the skateboard thing.
Think about this: is you're one of the few people that your job is something you like.
Yeah.
I work at a factory, so well, you're winning when it comes to that.
I work at U-Haul too in the mornings.
So you got your dual jobbing.
Yeah, and I've always had a second job for doing the shop, but
let's work our way up to the shop because that would be. I did my research. That'd be 2009 when you guys opened it.
Yeah, 2009.
Boom! Somebody looked up the About Us on the website. I even watched a couple seconds of the video you had up there.
Yeah,
my wife came upstairs and she won over, so I didn't watch any more of it. I started talking to her.
Why is it distracting?
Well, they're important.
Important.
If I'm good at anything, I'm good at having a wife. That's my one thing I got. Because when she's in the room, I'm like, all right, what do you want?
I used to be really good. I guess the only other thing that I was good at was eating Doritos.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like whole bags at once? Or
whole bags at once.
Could you, if I gave you like 3 different types of Doritos and you didn't know which one, could you guess the flavor?
Yeah, I probably could. I can't. I'm on
trying to find what a skill of a Dorito eater is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna be 33 here too, and I mean, people say that I look like pretty young.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Even when I was like 25, people thought I was like, man, I don't know, 17 or something.
Yeah.
But there's people that would be like, like how do you like look so young? And just lots of skateboarding and Doritos.
Yeah, Doritos, that's skateboarding, and working at U-Haul.
Yeah. Well, U-Haul came later.
that became part of the diet later on.
That came part of the diet. I don't remember what we were.
I was gonna say what got you into skateboarding. Was it playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2? Because that's what got everybody into it.
It was like, man, in our neighborhood. When we moved here, I remember when we moved here, my mom was super into garage sales. When we moved here,
so if there was one, you had to go to it.
Yeah, we like it was like a Sunday or Saturday morning thing that we just like
drive around,
went every garage sale.
That's actually pretty awesome.
And so what was it? I ended up getting a skateboard at a garage sale. It had like a shark with a martini on the bottom, like in a lounge chair, not a lounge chair, like a yard chair kind of.
Yeah, like a laying back chair.
Yeah. Like, and he was just holding this martini and everything.
And it was a shark.
Super 80s style, no nose, just a big tail with a big plastic brake on it and everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of those boards. I love those kind of boards.
Yeah, just old school.
Yeah,
that's what they've been.
We had one of those when we were kids. We had one normal skateboard that you get now, and then one like it was super fat too. It was a big fat one.
Yeah, it was like 10 inches wide.
Yeah, and those are great because when I was like in 3rd grade, 2 of us could ride it.
Yeah, and
one person could sit on the front where the front trucks, and the other person was just being the pushing dude. In the back. That was awesome. Did that everywhere.
And on the top, there's like it was like a ninja, like just like how I don't know, is it Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden?
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden.
The face and he was like holding a ninja star like
Nice. And that was on the top.
That was on the top.
Stood?
So yeah, in between the grip tape.
I want to know the correlation between Ninja and Alcoholic Shark.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It was a pretty crappy board, so it didn't have any brand name or anything.
Yeah, it was just board.
There's a lot of rip-off shit back then that they couldn't like control.
Yeah.
It was probably some...
Or we call them all Walmart boards, whether or not they came from Walmart. If you just had a shit board, they were Walmart boards.
Exactly, yeah. And, and I eventually, I could ride it. Like, I remember seeing, I don't know, cartoon characters in video games. Like, what, you could ride a skateboard in goddamn Adventure Island for the NES. I mean, that was pretty tight.
And, couldn't you get one in Zombies Ate My Neighbors?
No,
that was rollerblades.
You
the one character had rollerblades.
You get the shoes, and that makes you walk faster, or run faster.
I thought somebody had rollerblades in that.
Yeah, nobody had rollerblades.
Fuck, man, the kid didn't have rollerblades. The boy.
Fuck. He had the 3D glasses.
I know he had the 3D glasses and the awesome spiked blonde hair
and the Zero shirt with the Zero skull.
Yeah, I really thought he had rollerblades. I think I'm thinking of a beat 'em up where a teenager had rollerblades.
Yeah, that's Streets of Rage.
There you go. That's where I was going. Yeah. Streets of Rage. There was character with rollerblades. Yeah. All right. So, what would have Ninja Turtles had skateboards?
Ninja Turtles had, and that was a big thing too. Like, super Ninja Turtle fan. And that was like,
well, you grew up at the right time. Is both me and my brother are huge Turtle fans.
There's the action figure, like, and the character like Mondo Gecko.
Oh, I remember Mondo Gecko.
Yeah, Mondo Gecko. He had the like
just blew my fucking mind.
He had like taped on the back of his tail, so he could like drag his tail.
A roller skate.
It was like a roller skate. It looked like just like a plate for a roller skate or something.
Yeah,
but he had that taped on the back of his tail, so he could
I had that action figure.
Control. And he had the big board with the engine on the back and everything. And I was just like, oh, this is...
Yeah, this is going to be me. I'm going to tape a roller skate to my tail. You watch out.
This is the shit. This doesn't get better.
Those toys were so good.
Mondo Gecko. And then, ironically, I have a wheel company that I run, too, called Mondo Vertical.
Okay. But, eventually the Mondo Gecko guys are going to come to you. Probably. Hey, man, what the fuck?
But yeah, I got... so skateboarding... I eventually started riding the thing, or probably because of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, I thought they were just, a skateboard was just kind of like a toy.
Yeah.
I could ride it, I could stand on it and whatever. And then eventually we got another skateboard from maybe like, Jesus.
From Jesus?
Yeah. Fuck. What's the thrift store?
Arc thrift store. Boys Ranch.
Boys Ranch. Yeah. And you had the image in my mind of the weird face.
Yeah, the weird face.
Yeah, the face.
Yeah.
There's like 3 of them on there.
Yeah. Or is there?
But yeah, it was like a mini, like banana style board. It's just a plastic. Plastic thing, and and that one had way better wheels, and I could ride that like way better because it was just.
Yeah, you take that everywhere.
And I end up, I was like the only kid in the like neighborhood kind of thing that could just ride this thing.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know, I was always just messing around on it. I didn't really know that anybody did anything like on it until I was maybe 11 or 12.
Yeah, and that's got to be when the Tony Hawk games started coming out.
I was in 6th grade. I think Tony Hawk came out.
I was in 4th, so when they came out, so I think you must have been around 6th or 7th grade then.
Yeah, about 6th grade is when it really hit off.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the PlayStation was out yet.
Yeah, it would have been the first PlayStation. We had it on Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have been like first PlayStation 64 and Dreamcast is when they first came out.
Yeah.
So whatever. Maybe, you were older, so maybe it was more like 7th or 8th.
There was the like Thrasher Skate and Destroy video game.
Oh,
that
fuck
was,
yeah.
Like, before.
Yeah.
That was like before its time. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't really get like skateboarding. Like it's still at the point I was like, oh, like this is just a thing that's in cartoons and video games.
Yeah, that's a toy. Yeah.
And then I was at a park. I was at Claire Barton. And I
Okay.
see this dude. Riding a skateboard, and I'm just like perk up, like, oh, that dude's tight. And,
Yeah.
that dude's rad. And I see him. I'm just like watching him as he's rolling by, and I think he was in the street, and he goes into like somebody's driveway, but there was like a gap of some like haggard.
Yeah, there you go. Use it again.
A gap with some like haggard cement or something in between the driveway, right up.
And he ollied over it?
He ollied over it.
Oh.
And like my jaw just dropped.
You're like, he jumped with the skateboard.
I had no idea. And I was like, no, there's got to be like, he had to have had like something
like tied
attached to his feet to the board, and then I saw him like push, and I think once he got up to the sidewalk was just too fucked, and he just had to walk, and and he got off his board, and I saw the board, and there's nothing on it, and just no, like this is nuts. This is a thing.
Yeah, it just exploded in your brain. Yeah,
and that's when I went home and I started trying this. Mm-hmm. So I had like the prior knowledge of riding a board.
Yeah.
Before like trying this, so it kind of accelerated the process.
Yeah.
But
I can never get it.
Yeah.
I've flipped so many boards trying to ollie. I can never get it.
But the thing was, I didn't have a double kicktail board yet.
Yeah, you had those two.
I just had some crappy banana boards eventually, and still like an old wide ass one.
Yeah, the big shark guy.
And I tried to. Well, I think the big shark one eventually was done for. I think I took the trucks off of it and put those trucks on a banana board to make it like this weird hot rod looking setup. But I think that first board with the martini shark on it is part of my mom's fence now that keeps the rabbits out of the yard.
The little rabbit fence. Yeah.
But check that score.
No, I wish. Here, let me do it actually really quick. No, it's not coming up. All right, never mind. But there's a football game I want to watch right now. But anyways, we're at 40 minutes. We're around halfway, so we're doing good. Yeah. Time flies when you're talking about skateboards that have sharks on them.
And then I lost my place.
You were trying to learn how to ollie.
Trying to learn how to ollie. And I end up trying to ollie on these like crappy plastic boards, and it's just not happening.
Yeah.
And I know, so I'm like, Mom, we have to go get
one of those
one of these double ones looks like this with the double. And this was at the time where for quite a while it was like really small wheels. Mm-hmm. and like a double kicktail style board were like really in
I thought those aren't. Are those always in?
Well, yeah. It went from like a 60 millimeter wheel, which is like this size, to and it went down to like under 50 millimeters. Huh. So they were small.
Oh, guys. Really small. Okay.
So like 45s, 47s, but now it's at a good like 52 to 54 range.
People like now
is the most common.
Okay. I always thought the smaller ones were just weighed down. When I was a kid,
that was the style. So they were like, because they were like, oh, the wheels are so light that you could pop and flick just effortlessly. But eventually, we got a board, and it was a crappy Varflex board from Kmart, because I didn't know that there was a skateboard shop or anything.
No, there was one at the time.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that was a thing.
That Discontent must have been selling boards still, or there was that tiny one over by Ben Franklin called D-Skate.
Yeah, which was owned by Discontent.
Yeah, which was also Discontent, but it was supposed to be just for skateboarding. That was like a year or two.
Yeah, this was when the Moorhead Center Mall, well, not Moorhead Center Mall, the Moorhead Strip Mall, I don't remember the name of it, the Holiday Mall.
Yeah.
Holiday Mall had the indoor skate park in it.
It's not even a thing anymore.
It's not even a thing, because
it's just O'Leary's now.
Yeah, some old woman, I guess the story was some old woman bought out she just didn't like just some old rich woman. It was like, this place is run down and all the shops that are in here are terrible. I'm buying the whole.
So she gentrificationed it.
Yeah.
Good going, old lady.
And but yeah, I got my board. I got a board from there eventually, but I had to. Oh, the only before I even knew about that there was an indoor skate park, I got new wheels from Shields.
Yeah.
Eventually, because I was like, these wheels are so terrible, just like plastic.
The K-Bar wheels.
Yeah, the K-Bar wheels are just terrible plastic, and I put some of the better wheels from one of those banana boards on the thing, and it was just huge looking wheels on this. So it was stupid, but it rode, and that's when I was like, I need different wheels. Like, and I think my mom called Shields or something asking if there was any skateboard stuff.
Yeah.
And
so they're like, yeah, we got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and they had some like yellowed, gross looking, like just a set of blank wheels.
Yeah.
I still have them, I think. But yeah, I got those, and that just upgraded the whole thing. Like, it was like, oh man, like now we're on. Like, I can learn this.
And then you started ollieing.
I started trying to ollie. I had to fucking figure it out. Like, it was nuts. We didn't have YouTube.
Well, yeah. So you had to. You're stomping on one side and pushing down on the other, and you're trying to figure out how to do it. Yeah.
I remember having like both my back foot on the back tail and my front foot on the front tail, and thinking that was like maybe how it went. And I had to figure out the whole thing, and eventually. I was skating around somewhere, and I didn't know it was even called an ollie.
Called it like a jump?
Yeah, and I think it was some kid was skating and saw me skating in my driveway, and he stopped, and he he just talked to me for a bit, like in my front yard, and he was basically like he was basically showing me that I had to like slide my front foot and all of this, and then basically this is all I had to go off of.
Yeah,
and like this kid telling me, but I still felt like lost where I remember going to the library and like trying to find skateboard books, but all the skateboard books were like from the 70s.
Yeah.
So it was like, everybody had a banana board and was like going through cones.
Like surfing.
Like, surf cones. And
the
gorilla grip where you like curl your barefoot toes over the nose and tail and try to jump that way.
Jeez.
And if
sounds like a broken toe to me.
Well, if you slip out, if you put all of your weight on, the nose or tail,
you're grinding
the board in between.
Yeah.
You're grinding your toe in between the plastic and the concrete while going.
Yeah.
And there's your toes gone.
Yeah. I hope you don't like toenails because you just lost them.
Fuck those toes.
That's right. That's why we have 10.
Yeah. And then eventually I started popping and got it. I had a 2x4 I would go over. I tell this story a lot, like to kids in the shop, that I had a 2x4 that I'd pop over. The rules I set for myself was that I had to go over it 50 times back and forth, and if I fucked it up once, I had to do another one. Yeah, I had to start back over at 1.
Holy shit! And so you'd be doing upwards of a couple hundred.
Yeah, I was pretty militant about it because I wanted it so bad.
And did you finish your numbers every day?
Yeah. So I would go out and skate around, do some stuff, and eventually I'd get to it and try to get.
Do you ever fuck up at 49?
Oh yeah.
I throw boards so fast.
But then
I don't have the patience for discipline or anything.
Then you'd put the 2x4 on its side.
Oh, so it's higher.
So then that's the higher one.
Yeah, so it's no longer 2. It's 4.
The next level.
Yeah.
And so you'd end up like if you tweaked it, whatever. If you didn't pop high enough,
it would fall over. You would know if it fell over, you fucked up.
Yeah. So if there was a little tap there. So it was getting my timing right and everything. And eventually, I was doing this over our garbage can.
Holy shit!
And still, I got pot, but I mean, it wasn't ever a natural thing. Like,
you really worked on it. Yeah.
To get to the garbage can status, I mean, that was like, it took me a full year, full summer to even get, like, to the pop and timing down good. And, eventually that was, I could pop. And now, I mean, I still kind of can, but it gets really...
You don't get to skate too much now, I bet?
Yeah, I just did an ollie. Just did an ollie motion with this tank.
He's been playing with a plastic tank for most of this conversation. No, it never gets any love, man. It's fine.
So
the tank just sits there.
We got the tank. This is what it was like. Now I'm going... The tank is ollieing over this pencil. What do
you want? Do you want this ibuprofen bottle as the garbage can? Then?
Yeah, the ibuprofen bottle is this garbage can, and we'd go over it. And my mom would get pissed because sometimes I'd land on top of it and dent the side. This was when garbage cans were still metal.
Yeah.
So it was.
I know we threw a lot of garbage cans into other garbage cans in high school, so I remember that they were metal.
Those are the times.
Those were the days, man. Back when people would just destroy stuff because they were bored. That was days before YouTube.
And then, and then I remember just I'd get injured. Like, I'd sprain my ankle, and then I'd just, like, get bombed. I couldn't skate. Because your ankles basically have to stay together, otherwise you can't skate. I got into BMX for, like, a summer, and we didn't have, like, my mom got me a bike, I think, it was, like, a grades thing. I had to try to be smart to get a bike or something. What the hell? This was at the time when bikes that had, like, thick axles for pegs.
Yeah.
That wouldn't break.
Yeah.
Those ones were so expensive.
Yeah.
Those thick axles now are just like a normal thing.
Yep.
But those axles back then were expensive. And I couldn't get a bike that was, like, too much money, so I ended up getting one that had, like, thicker dropouts on the back, but it still had smaller axles on it. So I was bunny hopping and, like, grinding stuff, and eventually I was just fucking up my back axle. I snapped a ton of them. And eventually my mom was like, "This is the last axle I'm buying." and because it became almost more expensive to do it, to have Bikes Unlimited replace the axle.
Yeah.
Fuck. And so I think I ended up breaking that last axle and just being like, well, my mom's pretty stubborn about stuff, so
you're
just like, okay, well, skateboarding.
Yeah.
And so back to skateboarding, and I was taking my bike apart pretty often and everything too, and putting it back together. And a friend and I was just like, I want to open, like, a bike shop, maybe do a skate shop, like, when I'm older.
Well, that's what everybody thought we were gonna do, because I was part of.
And I did it.
You nailed it. I was part of a small group of people who liked to BMX at the skate park later on when we were in high school. And this would be pretty much right before you open the shop to right after you open the shop. So last 2-3 years of high school. So I graduated 2008. So 6 to 8. I'm pretty sure we know a lot of the same people doing it. You were probably at the skate park a lot of times. I was, but I just, as I said, I don't know. I got a lot of hand-eye coordination problems. So I can't really do a lot of stuff like that, and it was really difficult for me. And I eventually just said, why don't I just get a bike I can just ride and not BMX on? And that's what I still do. I now bike ride. I like to pull in 15-mile days, 20-mile days on days off. And we live in a flat area. Yeah. So you can bike around Fargo.
The wind,
like though. Nobody. Yeah, I know, that's what kills. I look at the wind more than I look at temperature. Whenever someone's like, "You biking today?" And I'm just like, "Well, the wind's going. Oh yeah, it's going opposite of me, or going like I'm going north and south, and it's going east and west. So yeah, fuck it, let's do it." And then I'll bike. I'll bike anywhere. I don't really care for temperature because once you bike your ass off, you're starting sweating. You don't care if it's 30 out. Yeah. But
I biked to the shop. Like there was a period where I couldn't afford. I didn't even have a vehicle.
I didn't get my license until I was 23. So I biked everywhere.
That's tight.
Yeah, I know. That is tight. Yeah.
Depending
on who you are, people go like, "What the fuck?" Or they're like, "All right, that's awesome." you don't have to buy gas until you're 23. Yeah,
well, that's what So I bought a bike with somebody abandoned a crappy, I don't know, mommy looking style bike behind.
That's what I bike, are mommy looking style bikes.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's my jam.
It's tight.
My bike right now, I just spent a bunch of money on it. It looks like Mary Poppins' bike. It's gorgeous. Great, yeah, it's beautiful.
But this was like a Huffy looking thing. It was, crappy parts.
Yeah.
And somebody left it behind the shop, and I think one of the tire was flat, and I just replaced the tire and started riding this thing. I think the handlebars were like sideways too, and everything. So I just fixed it and started riding that. This happened like to be the time where my dad had given me a vehicle, and I couldn't drive, or I couldn't drive because it ended up like, I don't know, something ended up happening with it. And I was just like, I'm just sick of driving and dealing with this stupid
and also if you have like a car that breaks down 4 times in the same year, you're like, you know what, fuck it. Because I remember I had a car that was broken down. I put like $600 into it, and then the next week something else went wrong with it, and I was like, fine, I'm not driving. Like, I don't care if I just put 600 in. I'm not doing it again. Like,
so the shop was open, and I'm barely making any money, and like I can't afford gas in the first place. So like, okay, cool. Let's just bike this entire summer.
Yeah, that's good. I love biking.
Rain, everything.
So is this different than so
I completely fucked up the whole crank area because the Chinese metal was just like bending. So the crank, the whole shaft was like bending into it. So yeah,
jeez. I ride internal hub gear bikes. Specifically, I've had one for like years, and my bike got stolen a couple months ago, right outside our house, like literally right outside that window.
Of course.
And it really ruined my life. Like, it was really shitty. So I walked over the Shields over here to get a bike, and my wife gave me a spending limit. I was like, hey, how much can I buy a bike for? And I don't think she's ever like bought a bike, because she's like, well, like 200, 300. And I was like, no, like a whole bike, honey. Like, I gotta buy the entire bike today.
Not just rims and handlebars.
Yeah, not just the insurance on it. So I walked to Shields, and there was a really cool roadster, or I like cruisers. So, somewhere between a mountain bike and a roadster. So not super thin tires, a little thicker, but not super thick tires. And then gears, you always have them, but I like 3 gears. I don't need 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was no hub gear there. And there was one bike I liked for $400. I called her and I convinced her, hey, it's $400, fine. She's like, if you have to, sure. And then I called up my buddy Clark over at a Great Northern Bike Shop. I was like, hey, you got any hub gears? He's like, we got one. I'm like, how much? He goes, they're like $525. So I was like, fuck. Okay, I'm going to go look at it. I looked at it. I called my wife on the way, like, hey, there's a bike I'm going to go look at. It's like $500. It was like $525. And she's like, okay, go ahead. Like, if you love it, you do it. I don't want you to, but do it. So, of course, I fell in love. It's a bike I have. Gorgeous. And then he's like, oh, I lied. It's actually $575. And after tax, it's $625. So I was like, just throw the receipt away, and we're good. And if she heard me now, she would now know that it wasn't 500. But anyways, and I feel like I'm gonna bike it for as long as possible, and I'm gonna actually take care of this one and make sure it doesn't get stolen. I had the last one for 5 years, and so, but it was not made for how hard I bike. Like, it has a fender, and the fenders kept popping out.
Exactly.
And the handlebars got like loose right away.
That's the problem I was having with that crappy Huffy thing.
It's not built for somebody who bikes hard. No, they're built to like hanging garages. So I took it to Shills, and everything's popping out of it, and everything's coming loose, and they're like, the bike wasn't ready, was it? I'm like, no, the bike was not ready. Did not know what hit it. All right, we're getting close to an hour in. So now I got two things I want to talk about. So how do you get the shop open in 2009? So you and a bunch of people pooled all the money you guys could and bought a little spot downtown, or
Kinda, yeah. The shop originally started with 4 dudes, um, and they all pooled money together. I didn't have, I had some money saved up. I think I threw in like $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that,
which got eaten up in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, which was like my savings.
Yeah,
to try to like move out of my mom's place, and yes, so I ended up. It eventually it was with 4 dudes, and what the first one, the first dude dropped after, I don't know. It was maybe even 6. I don't even think it was winter yet. Less than 6 months. I think he was out. He couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't deal with it. He was having conflict with one of the other dudes.
Yeah, and you guys were essentially working. You were the only employees, and you were making no money.
Yeah, and all of us.
All the money you had to make went right into it.
When we opened, like day one of opening, we sold everything.
Yeah,
it was there was nothing left in the shop for like a week.
Jeez.
It was like, it sucked. I think there was like a couple shoes and maybe like one deck.
Yeah, and then somebody comes in and you're like, "Hey, trust me, this is the store."
Yeah, this is. Yeah, but we didn't have much money so we pooled all of our money together, and then we got a loan through my mom.
Nice.
And we were able to start on $10,000 with, in addition to how much ever, I think it was. I think with pooled everybody's money together, I think we only had like 6,000.
Wow.
So it was like starting a business was
$16,000. Yeah.
So you had to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
So yeah, realistically, I just started paying myself. We're coming up on this spring was 9 years, and yeah, I just started paying myself a little bit last year.
Wow.
And
oh fuck! And you work every night there essentially.
Yeah, it's Monday through Saturday.
Yeah. I assumed you had Sunday off because like every store downtown isn't open on Sundays.
Yeah.
So
I think, man, I think our next door neighbor Revolver, I think she might be.
Yeah.
Open on Sundays, but
that's weird.
Yeah, then eventually we got enough money. The first winter was terrible. It was like every day, besides like Fridays and Saturdays, was like a $0 day.
Jeez.
So, yeah, eventually, we eventually bought out the other dude because we just basically paid him back, and he didn't want his name on the paperwork anymore because it was kind of screwing with his taxes for his other job.
Okay.
So then it was just me and this dude Steve that I had previously. Me and Steve had ran the D-skate that was in the mall.
Okay. I remember that.
Maybe, I think it might have been like 3 years. Maybe I was there for like 2.5, but Steve might have been there for 3. I don't. My timeline is all.
I'm trying to remember which mall that would have been in Moorhead Center. Wait,
that was in the West Acres Mall.
There was a D-skate in West Acres.
Yeah, everybody
I remember now. Okay,
every single day, people would be like, "I've been coming to this mall forever, and I've never known this was here." I'm like, yeah, because skateboarding, nobody cares about skateboarding, and that's why you just like.
I remember now. I remember it was one of when I was like right before I became a mall rat. That was one of the spots I would go in and hang out in, but also it was one I actually felt. Yeah, probably. But it was one I felt bad for because it was like, I don't know, it was like one of the few places where I was like, I don't want to just hang out in here and not buy anything. Like, it actually hurt me. So it's like, all right, I'm not going to hang out in here, man. I'm sorry. Because I didn't have any money. I, somehow scraped the $1 together to get a Dairy Queen hot dog every day. That's what mall rat life was.
And that was... Yeah, that whatever years that was. I mean, we were how do I put it? it was cool. It was a cool job and everything. Like I wanted that job like really bad because I wanted to work there. And eventually I got to this point. I applied. This might have been like my 5th time applying ever.
Nice.
And when I found out that Steve was the new manager at that place, that's when I was like, oh, this might be my chance because this guy doesn't know me.
No.
and I think the thing was because I was too involved with skateboarding.
Yeah.
I think that's why they didn't want me the years back because so the owner of that place was just this was where the horrible part of the job would come in, was where it just kind of sucked because he had this weird mentality because Discontent was making so much more money off of selling pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he like just didn't care about D-Skate.
Yeah.
Like, it was just there for his son to work there pretty much.
That's a good mentality for
it. But I don't know. I don't know the specifics of that. But it sucked at the meetings because it was he basically was just like, well, the sales reflect here. The sales that are reflecting here just aren't.
Yeah.
Like, so like, man, do you guys even like want your job still? And like I might just close this place. And like it was like every meeting, and it just it's like, well, why am I working here then?
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah.
And every time we had like any sort of suggestions to do anything or
let's try to get it going,
you'd just be like, no, just shut down So you
had a very defeated mentality already.
It sucked. And then the other thing that sucked was that it was in the mall, so you weren't dealing with people that skateboarded.
Yeah,
it was like you dealt with a lot of people that just wanted skate stuff, like didn't actually skate. It was like the ratio was like 90% people
probably there to buy a skate shirt or skate whatever.
Yeah. 90% people that didn't skate would come in and buy stuff, and you could just like you try to talk skate with people, and they just be like, "What?
Can I get that cool hat?"
Yeah, and but then and then there was the other part of the crowd that would be coming in there to actually get stuff, and that was the cool part. But then when we opened the shop, it was like the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
It was like people that didn't even skate, like they wouldn't even set foot in the place because
it's not a mall.
They didn't know. And that was like so tight. And, it was, and then everybody, like even all the kids that were skating that I didn't know from like way in West Fargo and super North Fargo and like even out of town. Like I just became friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like all your customers. You're not even dealing with customers anymore. Just like they all start becoming just your friends.
I remember when you had that awesome van that had all the stickers on the back.
Yeah.
And I have memories of me and a former friend of mine. Not really gonna say his name. But I remember us at the skate park, and just that van would drive in, and everyone would be like, "Hey, look, Matt's coming!"
Yeah,
and then you would just pull into this the parking lot, and you never got to walk away from your van because people would just walk right up to your van, and then you would open up the back, and everyone would just hang out there, and it was like the second hangout, and they're like, "Can I go over and skate now?" Or it's gonna be cool.
Weird thing, yeah. There was a thing too at that point. This was before I worked at D-Skate. That I was just a friend of mine had a company called Evolve.
Yeah.
And so I was selling boards for him.
Yeah.
So that was another thing why people would just like come.
Yeah.
Like come right to me because they be like, oh, what's he got? So it was like the skate shop before the skate shop.
Yeah, the skate shop was your van.
And then I'd buy blank wheels and other hardware stuff off of eBay in like bulk for cheap and like resell that for a couple bucks more. And so like I was already kind of into the whole buying and selling thing, but
buying and selling skate shit before you even had a shop. Yeah.
And it I don't know. It's just that it just like worked out, I guess. But
was the idea? Were you guys always skate and snow, or was the idea was always snow?
Steve was the other guy. He was basically the snow side.
Yeah,
I've snowboarded a bit.
yeah,
but he
has he skated a bit?
Yeah. Basically, it was the other way around. So
yeah.
So he, I mean, he was the snowboard side, and I was the skate side, and it was a really big bummer that snowboard stuff just wouldn't sell good.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, you would think it would be seasonal, is you guys have to also sell snowboard shit because half the year you can't skate. So people aren't wearing down their wheels and their boards during half the damn year, or less than half the year. Yeah. They can't skate. So then people would have to come in to buy snowboard stuff. So that would be a good idea.
So at this time, basically all of the dudes that skate, like all of the dudes that skate now, it's rare to have any of them snowboard.
Yeah.
It used to be that if you skated, you probably
snowboarded in the winter. Yeah. I don't think is snowboarding even very big right now. I haven't really seen too much of it.
I don't even know anymore.
You sell it.
I barely sell it because every time we've tried to pump money and been like, this is gonna be the year.
We're snowboarding, guys. Shaun White came back and did the Olympics again.
Yeah, this is going to be the year, and people are going to want this shit. And it's like it just takes so long. Like we might have had like 25 or 30 boots when we opened.
Yeah.
Our first winter, and those boots stuck around for 8 years.
Holy shit.
And most of them, I'd say a good 60%, maybe 65-ish, all went on eBay.
Yeah.
Like that's fucked.
Yeah.
And then I think we've only ever sold a handful of boards at full price.
You think you do it? And wow, that's a surprise.
It sucks. It's
you think there'd be so much more snowboarders, but again, it's a weird market because I don't, just like I'm a biker. It doesn't mean I spend money on my bike. I don't. I buy a bike and then I do a tune-up at the beginning of the year, do a tune-up at the end of the year, or not even at the end, usually because it breaks at the end of the year. But my point is you buy one board and you'll board for years off it, so you don't really.
Yeah.
It's a weird market where you're selling something that somebody's going to have for a long time, and they don't have to do upkeep or anything.
The people that we originally sold boards to, like our first year, are probably all still using that board now.
Yeah. So it's a shitty market of being able to. It's not like Magic cards where you have to keep buying them.
When you get into like the super hardcore dudes that are, doing street snowboarding and everything, and like gapping out to handrails, and I mean they go through stuff.
Is that a thing? There's a lot of people who do it.
Oh yeah, street snowboarding is
that is never seen stuff. It. They must be doubling as ninjas as well.
Basically, I mean, you get you just go around town with a shovel and make a path.
That's awesome, actually.
Go down handrails and.
And they're breaking their boards.
They're breaking boards.
So the three guys doing that in town, you can sell to.
Kind of, and even then, those dudes are always looking for like a deal.
Yeah, they want to buy them in bulk.
Not bulk, but I mean they just like homie discount or something. And it's like
I would have a sign that said no homie discounts.
And you don't make much money off of a snowboard. You pay shipping on top of that, so then it's just I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you guys should try surfing next. No, I'm kidding.
Snowboarding. We've always been trying to rack our brains on like something else that we could sell to just.
Yeah. Well, do you guys do a lot of merch too? Of shirts for skate companies or shoes for skate companies, and I take it that's got to be a pretty big percentage of your sales, if not most.
Yeah, I mean the shoes are pretty good. Shoes shoes would probably be a big thing. You can make an okay profit off of shoes and clothing, but they're not as good as sellers as just like boards.
Yeah, so your biggest sellers are pretty much skateboards.
Yeah, pretty much boards.
Yeah. And you, there's probably in there, and then there's different ways of doing that. As you got, do you guys do longboard stuff too?
Yeah, the longboard stuff kills it. And,
yeah. Well, that got really in for a long time, and I think it's still kind of in. If I wasn't such a fat piece of shit, I would be a longboarder.
You can still,
but I don't know. You know how heavy that board gets when there's a 2,000 or 200-pound man on it? More than 200 pounds,
dude. There is boards that have like a specific shape to them that.
Yeah, but if they kicked for themselves, if they push for themselves, I could do it. But I have to be the dude who's pushing it.
Yeah, you just get better at it.
So heavy.
You get better at it, and you get better at it.
I don't know. I like biking because it's like running, but I get to sit down.
Yeah.
it's very nice.
Works.
Yeah. But I've always fancied getting a longboard eventually. Like it's always been my in there like I'll get a longboard.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I used to have a skateboard for emergencies only, where if I couldn't get a ride somewhere when I didn't have a car, and if my bike was somewhere else, I had that skateboard so I could just fly across town. Yeah. And it got me across town multiple times.
Yeah. So I mean, you already know how to previously skate.
I skate goofy though. Yeah.
So do I.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, which one's the one where you're kicking off with your back foot and you're keeping the front foot up front?
So you have your foot. The foot that's
I have my right foot at the front of the board as I'm pushing with my left.
Yeah, you're pushing with your back foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's goofy still, but some people will put.
Well, because I remember the video games, I always had the guy pushing with the front, and their foot that stayed on the board was in the back, and I was like, I'm doing it wrong, man. The video games are lying to me.
There's regular and goofy. So you kind of have a preference towards one or the other, but I mean, I skated goofy, but everybody else that kind of skated would skate regular.
Yeah.
So, like, say if we were skating a ledge, there's the whole, like, front side and back side thing of, like, going at a ledge. If you're, like, your chest is facing the, a front side means that your chest is facing, you're riding up to the ledge, and you're getting onto the ledge, and your chest is facing it. That's front side.
Yeah.
And if you go the other way, it's back side. Because your goddamn back is,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so... Everybody wanted to skate the ledges, front side, because front side's easier because you can see everything in front of you. So there'd be 3 or 4 dudes or whatever all hanging out, and when you're taking turns skating this ledge, you're all talking
and you're all facing the same way because you're ready to hit it going front side,
and you're hanging out.
Yeah.
But me, to skate at front side, I had to be at the other side by myself.
Hey guys.
Yeah, so I'd be like, so to hang out with everybody, I had to skate everything backside.
Yeah,
and
it's funny.
So I didn't learn frontside stuff for the longest time because of the hangout factor.
Yeah. Well, then there would have to have been a couple goofy guys who
eventually there were. Yeah,
where it was
at the time
you guys were coming at each other.
There was man, it was thinking about that is weird because all the dudes that I skated with when I was a kid, I don't think any of them skate anymore.
Oh yeah, weird.
And it's just me.
And you had to learn everything backside for those assholes.
Yeah.
They don't even skate anymore.
Or they moved away or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Where am I going?
I was gonna say, then would it be easier than would it have been easier to just skate rails when the new skate park came and there was a rail, so you didn't have to. It wasn't a ledge.
It would, yeah,
yeah,
it would. Oh, well, that's where my eventually instead of skating spots, my mom's driveway was really long.
Oh yeah.
So I just started building stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an 8-foot box that I built.
Yeah.
I think before that it was just a 2x4 frame that was 4 inches high. Like that. I was skating that.
Me and my friend at the time built a big wooden quarter pipe that sat in his
rotted away.
Yeah. I went through it and we were done. But it wasn't like nice like a vaudevillian cartoon where I go through it and I hit the rail or anything. Yeah. No, I went up most of it, and then my tire went in before it got up to the metal. So I just bit my handlebars so damn hard, and I didn't even hit my teeth straight on. It hit my lower jaw.
Yeah.
And my lower lip just hit my teeth so hard and just split and just pure black. And I remember coming home. It didn't knock any of my teeth out, but I was just drinking blood for 2 weeks. And then my buddy wasn't even home. I stopped to skate it. Yeah. So then he came home to a broken ramp. So he's yelling at me, and I'm like, "Dude, you broke my face, man! You bailed me." Yeah,
those are the times.
Well, I remember just being so bloody and broken.
Yeah,
it's constantly. My legs. I don't want that anymore. My legs look like a cheese grater. There was gouges up and down my legs at all times, and my mom would look like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, well, half. Falling at the skate park and half just jumping in front of cars for a punchline.
Yeah, I broke my cheek. I cracked my cheek.
Yeah.
And there's it cracked my nasal cavity too, and there's just a direct blood flow out of my face. And yeah, and that was all. My mom was really excited for that.
I'm pretty sure the injury every skater or BMXer had was the tooth through the lip.
Yeah, I never got
that one. I got that one. A couple friends who did, where you just go over to their house and you just see this giant red hole.
Yeah,
and you're like, "Hey, man, I know what happened to you."
There was one time I was always afraid of splitting my chin open. I was afraid of splitting my chin open. Everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to slip out, and I remember I was at Island Park. Skating one of the ledges, and I ended up I was trying something new or whatever, and I ended up slipping out or landing on it, slipping out, and I hit my chin on the ground.
Yeah,
but it wasn't the ground; it was my hand.
Oh no! So you dragged your hand?
No, my chin went right through my fingers. As I slapped the ground, then I hit my chin on my fingers, and my chin went through my fingers a bit, and just left a little tiny scrape on my chin, and I was just like I got away so good just because my hand was there.
Hey. I think one of the worst ones I ever did, it wasn't even, I don't know what I was doing. It wasn't even a BMX. I had my mountain bike on me, and I was like, check this out. I'm going to go and hit some jumps. Yeah. And I was just fucking around at the skate park, and I went up the little pyramid and didn't come down sharp enough, and my bike just said, "Hey, see you, man." And my bike just went away.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I don't have a bike anymore. And I hit the concrete, and what slowed me down was my elbow.
Yeah.
And it just scraped you can't really see the scar anymore, but I had a really bad one. But I just scraped my arm and my elbow all the way up and down. And I went to a party that night, didn't go get any medical anything.
Yeah.
And it was just all pus.
Yeah.
And I got laid.
That's the
that night. And I would just remember holding my arm out. And she just kept something's wrong with that arm. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's really hurts. Let's just keep doing this. And then at the party, after I get laid in this random dude's the roommate who wasn't there, I banged in his house. And then we come out, and then a chick who's at the party who's a nurse student went into nurse action and then wrapped my arm for me. Yeah, that was awesome. But I'm pretty sure most guys have a story like that of. Yeah, I completely fucked myself up, but what are you going to do? Not go out and drink?
I used to work at TCBY when I was a kid.
Yeah.
If nobody knows what TCBY is anymore, but it was the main competitor to Dairy Queen.
Yeah. I remember.
And so TCBY, I was working there. I think I worked there until I was 18. But there's one time, 13th Avenue, there's a big section of 13th Avenue that's just so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was skating home from work, and I remember TCBY closed at 11.
Yeah. So you had a tiny little spot where you could actually get up that
and there was this one night where there was just no traffic.
Perfect.
And I was just speeding on my skateboard all the way down 13th Avenue, just so smooth. It's awesome. And then I look back, and I see some headlights, and I'm just like, oh, well, there's a car coming. Like, cool, I'll just pull up into this driveway. And it was night, so I couldn't really tell, but it looked like a normal, like there was nothing weird about the driveway, but there's that little dip down.
Yeah.
And that was just all sand.
Oh, you hit that going fast.
And I hit that going so fast, like an inch, 2 inches of sand, something like that. Just stop, and just my whole shoulder to the ground, and my whole side, just
that skin just gone.
Ripped my shirt, just bleeding, like nuts.
And of course you're by yourself, so you just keep skating.
Yeah, I just had to keep skating home at 11, just to, like, just pour the peroxide on it.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. Home. Yeah, that's what I did too. Just pull the peroxide. Holy shit!
One time I was skating down the street, and I was just doing the super.
Yeah.
Like the super big pushes. Like just trying to go as fast as I possibly could. And when my leg was fully extended in front of me,
I know where that story's going.
My board hit
a rock.
My wheel hit a rock, and my board went basically, stopped and backwards. My foot was still extended forward. So that went down like this, like boom. And I hyperextended my knee so bad.
So you pretty much did the splits.
It was like like a pole vaulter.
Yeah, yeah.
You stick it in and it bends. That was pretty much like how my leg happened. I bent my knee back, but I could feel. What is this? Your tibia or something?
Yeah, something.
I don't know.
It's femur.
Your femur?
Femur, tibia's down here.
Oh, okay.
I think.
So yeah, my femur. I could feel my femur bend. And then it pushed me back like, and I was so like jaw dropped at like how I didn't snap my leg in half.
Jesus.
And so that whole leg like didn't work for the rest of the summer.
Did you have to skate differently and push with the other? Or you
and
just
to
didn't
top
skate
it
at
off,
all?
I was over at like Nativity.
You're way the fuck
I was
out.
down there. I was, half mile? Is that a mile away from like 13? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
I can't judge distance. I'm an idiot. And yeah, I had to skate back. I had to sit on my board. Pushed with my hands.
I bet you were just crying because it's humiliating.
And this is before cell phones.
Yeah, so you can call it.
Couldn't call mom to just be like, hey,
what the hell? Yeah.
My leg's pretty done for. Like,
all right, we're running a long time, so there's one thing I wanted to ask. These kind of interviews are the best. It's when a guy can talk as much as I do. It sucks when I have to pull teeth. Like, the ones I'd rather have instead of the ones where I'm like, shit, let's try to make it to 1:30. If it's like okay, dude, we could easily go another hour. Those are the best ones.
There could be a round 2.
Yeah, but hey, we'll do it next year. All right, do something exciting in a year. No, my question is something I see everywhere, and I'm sure you know where this is going, and I'm sure you get pictures of it everywhere. Never. Is the fucking sticker. This sticker is goddamn everywhere. Is that a thing where you guys like, hey guys, stick these all over, or did that just kind of happen?
It just kind of happened.
It's so cool. There's one, as I say, I bike all over, so I see them constantly.
Well,
but I saw one way southwest, like way down, like Osgood Park. I saw one. And I was like, who's skating over here? Like, holy shit.
I mean, we originally put some up like around town.
Yeah.
Like we were the first people that did it.
We'll stick a couple up. Yeah.
And then it just we basically give them away with almost every purchase.
Yeah.
And
I want one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy anything from you, but I want one.
Some in the truck.
I'm supposed to put stickers on my bike, so if it gets stolen, you can tell. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I did the same thing. So if I get my bike stolen, I can be
say,
like,
"Hey, there's stickers all over."
I have. There's this long sticker of a ghost peeing blood onto a cat. And
dude, you got to narrow it down a little bit.
That's my bike.
Everyone has that.
Yeah.
So you were putting the stickers all over, and then you were giving them out for free.
Yeah, I was mostly giving them out, and they just appear. I mean,
that's awesome.
There was, there's a handful that I still do.
Yeah,
I mean,
still go and do a couple.
It pokes up if I'm just like, oh, that'd be a really good spot. Yeah. Like there's a handful that I still do, but yeah, I mean, it's everywhere.
If you go all the way down 17th, I think it's 17th. Yeah, 17th. I want to say. If you go all the way down 17th, down into West Fargo, there's this little like bike circle that goes around like a little homemade pond. And there's ducks and shit. It's like whatever. It's like a kind of little park. There's like 6. Like I saw one on a bench. I saw one on the back of a no parking sign, and I was like, "What's going?" So what somebody
that skates there in that area.
And so my little headcanon is, and I'm a giant nerd. So my headcanon is, if you ever play like Skyrim or even Fallout, there's little in Skyrim there's little signs or signals for the Thieves Guild. Like if you're a thief and you can hang out here, there's like a little circle or whatever. And then in Fallout, it'd be for the railroad, the Underground Railroad, to get out robots. Doesn't matter. There's tiny little. You could just be walking and you'll see like a square or triangle with a circle, and that means that there's like a dead drop, and you look for it and you can get loot. I think of your this stickers as like the little like skate punks are like, here's a spot. This is where we skate. Like I think of it as like the Thieves Guild code. Skate code of this is where we skate.
Here's another thing is that there's this dude that he's like he's a tagger.
Yeah.
Graffiti dude.
I used to be until my wife told me I can't anymore.
And there was one day he told me, he messaged me on Instagram, and he was just like man, like props to you. You are the number one like tag in the entire city. Like you have the amount of like would it be territory? Yeah, we got territory. It's our turf. The cities are turf. I'm about to become mayor like Hagar.
Just go beat up some punks.
Yeah, I gotta go beat up our Lord and Savior Doug Burgum.
Yeah, no, I got it. I got the joke.
So we got territory, and he's like, I don't think anybody is ever going to be able to compete with like the outreach that I have for, and I never even had like that intention or anything.
You know, eventually some like actual street gang is gonna come to you like, dude, we need your spots. Shit.
And they just all come into the shop with guns or something.
Yeah, give us your corners. I don't even have anyone working them. I watch too much of The Wire, so I think of everything as corners and corner boys, which isn't a thing in Fargo.
And the stickers. Eventually we got to a point where people were complaining to me that they'd put stickers up, and I was never telling anybody to do this.
To do it, yeah.
And but they'd be like, like I put some stickers up, but they all got taken down, and I was just like, that's the sticker game. That's what happens.
It's graffiti, buddy.
well, realistically, what makes me like, I really like stickers so much. Going to Minneapolis, there's an old shop called Phobia, and within the block. A couple blocks radius of Phobia, like every street, like corner, every yellow streetlight thing, just covered in skate stickers.
Oh, awesome!
And I thought it was just the raddest fucking thing.
Yeah, that is the raddest fucking thing.
And here we just don't get that because there'll be a day
we're pretty good on our graffiti cleanup around here, which kind of pisses me off.
You'll see a cop like peeling off a sticker.
Yeah, well, they're so bored. The cops are so bored. I remember I went to Spokane, Washington. I lived out near Seattle for a couple of years, and went to Spokane, and they have like in downtown area they don't do anything about graffiti, and half of the whole place is just covered. And it's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And no one does maybe they do, but most people don't do public businesses, so the businesses are fine. Yeah. But even every alley is covered, every street post, every bench. And I was like, why can't we have this? This looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just the whole street is
the gentrification.
Yeah, and then people who are buying an apartment in a shitty neighborhood for 8 times what it's worth are complaining about the view. You're like, yeah, you moved into the fucking shitty neighborhood. What are you thinking?
So anyways, people were complaining about the stickers like getting taken down. So I got, I started getting
harder to peel stickers.
Yeah, I started getting eggshell stickers, or shop stickers. So it's like security vinyl. I mean, you don't. If you've ever taken something apart and there's the void label that like, breaks immediately, it's so thin. That's what the.
So that you can't peel them.
You need like a putty scraper or something to get them.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm surprised the cops ever came to you like, dude, what the fuck?
But the thing is I'm not telling anybody to put them up.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Happens, but the outreach. I mean, there's dudes that. I mean, if I go to their place, they'll be like, dude, look at how many shop stickers I've accumulated from like buying shit, and then have an entire shoebox full. I'm like, oh well, can I have this so I don't have to go buy stickers again?
Yeah, why you just got a hoard of them?
You just got to hoard them all. Jeez. But yeah, and then there's a dude that just messaged me he just moved to Denver, so he's
put one up.
He was like, well, man, like, how much is it going to cost to get, like, a good 250 pack from you or something? It's like, man, I will send you a 250 pack.
If you promise to put all of them up.
You're going to put them all up in Denver? We need that outreach in Denver. Yeah. We got the big sales going on.
Honestly,
they got lead there.
It's like somebody's putting out your fucking business card on every sign. Yeah, and that's awesome. That's good. That's good fucking publicity.
It's,
But anyways, I think we did pretty good, man. What are we at? 133.
Holy
134. We did 4 minutes too many. I could edit it, but I'm not gonna. So
the YouTube limits you to only that much.
Yeah. Well, not really. We could go forever.
We could put it on a 10-hour loop.
Rogan does 3-hour podcasts and he does 2 a day.
10-hour loop. I have those crappy like 10-hour loop videos
of songs.
Stupid shit. But we could do that, so it's constantly repeating.
There was a radio station that was switching from like one radio station to another, so they just needed something playing, so they didn't have dead air. And it was Timey Kangaroo Down Sport.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? It was like 2 weeks of Timey Kangaroo Down Sport, and we had it cranking. Everywhere we were at, we always flipped to that radio station, and we had Timey Kangaroo Down Sports for like weeks. And then finally, when they're like, "Hey, welcome to the new radio station," we're like, "Boom!"
The memory, like I forget that I even remember that.
Yeah. Well, earlier you said something that I was like, "Yeah, that was a thing." Duh. D-Skate was in the mall.
Yeah. Mondo Gecko.
That was another one. That was awesome. That made my days.
Tank Ollies. What?
All right. Well, do you have anything you want to say before we end this? Any
holy
plug?
Shit.
Yeah, just holy shit. Here's something you could steal. I got a friend who, instead of saying "fuck off," he says "pop shove it." It's whatever, man. Pop shove it.
I like to say instead of
plug your shop.
I hate marketing. No.
Unless it's illegal sticker placement.
Well, yeah, I mean that's like
that's good
like
marketing.
A guerrilla marketing scheme or something. I don't know. It kind of works. I don't know. Like people will say, what the fuck, but I like to say WT fuck.
Yeah.
Instead of, and people say WTF, but nobody.
I've always liked WT fuck. I used
WT fuck.
I got like 8-year memories on Facebook. I was saying WT fuck.
Really?
And I was pissed.
I never knew anybody else that said WT
well, you're not going to steal the chance of me saying the word fuck.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to turn a fuck.
Yeah, why would you censor it?
Yeah, I love the word fuck. Yeah.
Oh, I'm God.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'd rather say fuck than God, but
SM head.
LO laughing. No, LO loud.
LO loud.
Laughing OL. What?
Go LO loud Z.
Yeah. LOL. What? What's up?
No,
all right. Well,
we're getting really off track.
Yeah, we're hitting the bottom. We're crashing now. So, all right, I'm gonna end it unless you wanna. I'll do it.
Skateboarding.
Go and buy some skate shit at the This Skate in Snow shop on near Orange
tires,
Records. Yeah,
some tires, some plywood.
Yeah, there you go, and that's all you guys sell. Don't give away the fucking mystery. It's just tires. I
got shoelaces there.
All right. Thanks for coming in. Good conversation.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. And there you guys have it. That was my interview with Matt Gatzke. I think it went really good. I hope you guys thought it went really good too. And I'm not sure when I'm going to get the next video up for you guys. I'm kind of going to be in a transitional period of getting yet another producer. So hopefully everything works out and the gap isn't very long. And yeah, so can't tell you who the next interview is, and I can't tell you when it is because I'm not sure on those things, but hopefully it's not too long, and hopefully if you guys like to listen to these, you'll get to. So my cat Capone says goodbye for a bit. So do I, and enjoy your Halloween. Don't get stabbed by a tiny little possessed toy and his possessed toy bride. Bye.